Well, hello there everyone, this is Iron Mark III and welcome back to my adventure run on From the Depths, where the camera has just been fixed and adapted to the changing light conditions, so it shouldn't be... Wait a second, that's not right. So it shouldn't be glowing at all like it was before. Over there, right, yep, this way. I was getting confused by that thing, for sure. Right now I'm just cruising around eastwards trying to find another portal to go through, and you seem to have a... Oh, you've got some fairly big cannons, haven't you? Why am I listing so much? I don't think I got hit, but at least the torpedo launchers are doing okay, so there is that. Yep, off they go. And I think that that Corsair is now a little bit damaged. That central missile though is that downright hazardous. Actually, let's go ahead and switch to that so I can change it. Here we go. Okay, right. I'm going to tear out the central missile launcher. Because quite simply it's too dangerous to have it. So yeah, there we go. And just plug in a metal core like this. And I seem to have overshot my target a little bit as well. Yep, Corsair's dead. That's fine. Right. Now, moving on. In this episode I hope to actually complete that main cannon I was talking about in the previous video. I mean, I've got the gap all set there for it as well, and as you can see it was just turning just then, so it is actually trying to track things. But let's see what that hostile is over there. But it really needs little things like, you know, a weapon mounting might be nice. Something to shoot at stuff might be an idea. Little things like that. So what are you? You're a lance. Okay, I know what... Hang on a sec. 230 meters for that lance? Where are you? 230 meters? You are really close. Unless I'm misreading the darn thing. I think I am. Yeah, you are actually quite far away. That said, though, I do recognise you, dear sir. I think I've faced a few of you before. So I'm going to go ahead and charge into the fray once more. Now then, onto that cannon. I know that this big space would be ideal for going for a more advanced weapon system, like I could install a particle cannon here, or maybe I could do a massive bomb launcher, or a huge volley rack of missile systems. Volley rack missile system or something like that. A volley rack of missile systems, yeah. I'm going to throw missile systems at the opponents like, here, have some free rocket launchers. No. Absolutely not. But I'm saying a cannon because that seems to be the theme of the cookie wagon, really. It's like, I've given it lots of guns and missiles, so it's very much a physical munitions kind of craft at this point. So there's not much point in... Well, actually I could give it some variety in the form of a lot more different stuff, but I'm not going to. Where does that end? Here. Okay, so yeah, it's going to be a cannon. It's going to be a heavy cannon. Just keep going that way. And to that end, it needs to have a heavy shell, because I want it to go, oh, big enemy ship, hello, bang, blow something up. It's designed to, I want it to be doing a ton of damage. So in that regard, it's going to actually be the heaviest shell type on this entire ship. Actually, let's go ahead and unhitch my camera and give you a decent view of this fight, rather than talking about it and going, hey, this is going on. By the way, I'm fighting something at the same time. Incoming shell, missed. Yep, I remember you. Those shells are actually quite familiar. Ooh. That looked mildly nasty. Yeah, knocked a few bits and pieces around, but nothing too serious. And that one just missed. Yeah, I think you're going to die. and there's no stray missile just wandering off behind me. So, yep, removing that central tube has fixed some things. And oh no, my anti-air cannon! How dare you? Sorry, anti-missile. Yeah, I need to get some of that armor fixed or add shields, because that's one of the other big plans that I need to do. But still, this thing is going to die. There's no doubt about that. Now that I'm over it, especially. In fact, I've overshot it like I normally do, and I seem to have lost one of my rear engines as well. That's actually something this the Cookie Wagon lacks, and it needs to have. It doesn't have repair drones. Missile storm. I saw some fragments go straight through the enemy craft, so you know. Oh, hello. Something else is coming to join the fray, and my cannons have targeted that. And I'm shedding blocks as well, so... Oh, it's a Drake. The anti-air cannons prioritise that because that's how I programmed them, so they were doing exactly what I wanted them to do. Exactly what I told them to do, which is go after anything small, fast and high. So they spotted the Drake coming well before I did and just shot it. Good for you. I think that this is actually a successful battle. 2 lighter opponents. I took a little bit of damage, but mostly to unarmoured areas, and I'm going to get a bunch of resources from this now as well. Like, I think that they're both dead. No, this one isn't apparently. Unless I just can't see it. No, this one's still alive. Why aren't you firing? Oh, you are. Okay, never mind. And here comes a whole load more missiles just to finish the job. Sure. The Drake died really fast though, so that's gone. There's a portal over that way, portals over there. Can't see much of anything else, but a heavier cannon anti-ship purpose would definitely be a useful thing to have against something like this. Because the armor-piercing shells are good at punching through like a block or so in terms of metal, but as Jester said when they were first suggested, they are intended as an anti-air for lighter opponents, so I don't have a truly heavy cannon. Unless those count. Bombs might count, but yep, that is now dead. Okay, fix the camera, get back to work. Now then, there was a... Oh, there's another green portal over that way. There's a red portal over there, so I'm going to head that way. That is to my... the overlay north. Sure, that's fine. There's even a resource zone in that general direction as well. And there's a hostile over there, but given what I've seen so far, it's going to be a fairly small thing, so I don't think I need to concern myself with it. An ant lion. I don't remember what that is. Hang on. Ah, yes. I thought it was a deep water guard thing, but I wasn't quite sure. There it is, Ant Lion, the smallest deep water guard vessel as far as I know. Not really a threat, so you know, no point worrying about it. I say though, I think something's just spawned up ahead. Nope, something spawned behind me. Oh well. I can dream, can't I? Oh, it's a marauder. Okay, I really need to upgrade some of my detection systems, because that thing is completely messed up in terms of telling me how far away it is. Wow. So how far away is it? Let's turn side on to get my side systems on it. Saying 640 odd? That can't be right. Resource zone over there. Let's actually get the cookie wagon. Did I actually install this thing with... No, I never actually gave this thing the ability to move, so let's do that now. Since for the first time in a long time I actually want this thing to be able to move by itself. So where's the core AI? That's the core mainframe there, yep. This is the AA cannon mainframe, yep. This core mainframe requires an additional card slot like that. And then I'm going to install, just above it, the actual card for naval control. Or should I just do a patrol card? There isn't one? Okay, just a naval AI card it is. Because I want you, Mr. Cookie Wagon. You are now in fleet move mode.
Fleet.
No, patrol
Control
mode.
yours. Listening.
Move to there. And I have no idea. For patrol route, select and move to this node. Okay, right, sure. I didn't know that was how it worked. But I just want the thing to move there while I move over here and see where this thing is. But the problem is with all this fog, I can't really see anything. I don't know where... Was that it? No, that wasn't it.
Orders complete.
Thank you. I don't know where that thing is. Out there in the fog and the mist, so there's not much point in trying to do much. Not really. Instead, let's go ahead and see how well my enhanced harvesting array can do with this small resource pocket. Because this thing certainly doesn't stop on a dime. So zone is like that. Hit the brakes. 938. Yeah, I've just stripped a couple of hundred out of that while I passed over it. But then again, resource pockets are not my primary, source of stuff anyway, so,
Moving out.
Move over there, yeah. I'm going to just head into the portal. It's a marauder. It'd be a nice little addition, but... what the heck are you doing? AI system? Why are you doing things? Why are my turrets stuck? What's going on? It seems there's a few faults with this thing right now, but anyway. I'm going to get into that particular place, so yeah, see you in a few seconds after I try and get this stuff unstuck. Yeah, this is one of the problems with... well, something's got close, so one of the cannons was just firing at it. This is the problem with using a two-axis turret, though. You've got to be careful with how you build the thing, otherwise it sticks sometimes like this. I think it's stuck on this actual sloping here, though, so if I pull that away, yep, there it goes. Which is a shame, because now I've got that little gap in my underside armour there. But it's freed up the missile turret, so I guess it's a trade-off, isn't it? Ultimately, at the end of the day, though... The heck? Well, they found something to play with, I suppose. There is that. But yeah, end of the day, this craft was really built for a smaller style two-axis turret. So upgrading to a bigger one has improved their firepower. Yeah, it is that little thing, isn't it? The little antlion. They're doing their best to hit it, but, they have their limits against something that small. Ultimately, at the end of the day, though, this craft was not designed for have a bigger underslung turret at the bottom there, so it's going to have a few problems with the armouring and stuff. Especially since I armoured it and then I upgraded it, so yeah. It's going to take forever to kill that thing, so I'm just going to head through the portal and see what difficulty it takes me up to now. Here we go. New difficulty. What are you? You are 5.8. Making progress. Definitely making progress. Anyway, let's get back up to altitude and then I can resume what I was doing and talking about. Now then, for this new cannon, let's go a little bit crazy, I think, is the order of the day, because I want something really hard hitting. So that means I'm going to be modifying this thing with, something that's going to really crash into an opponent. So I'm thinking an AP capped head might be an idea. Yeah, AP cap, 3.5 modifier on armor piercing, but it does 7.5 kinetic instead of 5. So that just gives it more of a punch when it directly hits. So yeah, let's do that. It's not quite as fast as the composite head though, so I must admit that one. I also want to increase its size to... Yeah, let's try a 500mm cannon system. Let's be nuts. Sure. 500mm shell, a 5 meter length rack needed. Does it actually have that? I think it does, but let's have a look. Advanced cannon, ammo clips, 6 meter and 8 meter shells. Yeah, it can go all the way up to a 6 meter, though. That said, that is actually slightly too large, so let's do the unthinkable and drop it until it hits a 5 meter rack. Oh, it already is. That's a 10 meter rack for that one. Okay, this shell requires a 5 meter rack. No, wait, I want it to be a 4 meter rack, not a 5. What am I on about? To get a 5 meter rack with this shell, I need to be 400mm. A 400mm shell, it looks like, yeah. Let's do that then. Now then. Massive kinetic impact, absolutely monstrous recoil with this particular arrangement, so I need to do something about it. What I want is for this thing to actually punch in and then detonate, so I'm going to have a penetration fuse there, which I want you to punch in 5 meters, thank you, 5 or 1 second, whichever comes first. So this should punch 5 blocks deep before detonating it when it hits a hardened target, if it can punch through it. It's not got that good armor piercing though, only 11, but its kinetic damage is still dropping because of that loss of a gunpowder case. Let's add to this a inertial fuse as well, so that if it actually hits something and gets deflected, then it'll detonate anyway, if it goes beyond a 10-degree angle change. So that's okay. Again, that's reduced that. Now then, let's keep going. The problem with a big shell like this is that you can't customize it that much because each change does a huge amount to what's going on. Where is it? Frag warhead body. Let's add one of those. This thing will fragment 283 damage per fragment, 71 fragments from that single shell, so that is a massive frag warhead now on these things. Armor piercing has again dropped, so actually I can get rid of the penetration and just go with a deflection sensor, because it'll be more effective that way. It's not going to penetrate much unless it hits wood or something weak like that, so there's no point. Let's see, where's the deflection? Inertial fuse, that's it. So there we go. And that's given it 142 fragments when it hits. This thing is just going to be a frag bomb when it goes off. That seems to be how it's going. And then I'll add a HE warhead there, which will blast, massive blast, damage everything immediately around where it's impacted as well. Actually, let's reverse that. The blast goes off before the frags, so it'll help punch through and get the frags in deeper. Sure. 410mm. Speed, yeah, 410 speed. Yeah, effective time, effective range 8.5 kilometers roughly. Yeah, this thing looks pretty good, except for the 219,000 recoil force. That is absolutely abysmal. This thing is going to need some serious stuff. Okay, a bleed base, slight increase in speed, big boost in range. Slight reductions though in some other aspects. Let's have a look. Yeah, tiny reductions as far as the rest of it's going, but yeah, it's lost a little bit of its damage, but it's lost some of its recoil as well. And getting the recoil down is actually a huge benefit for this. Yeah, that's shedding about 30,000 recoil off it. Yeah, I'm going to go with this. 400mm shell. Not too bad. Though it gets picked up at 200 meters by detections, so you know. but it takes 241 to kill it. So this will punch straight through those anti-missile systems that you guys were talking about in the comments a few videos ago. That would be a few videos ago now, yes. So yeah, 100 damage anti-munition system. This would take a couple of knocks from that before being knocked out. So yeah, this looks fairly good. Let's go with this. Nothing's popped up while I was looking at that, so let's go ahead and get to the turret. That might be an idea. And let's get building. Get back to you as soon as I've got something more interesting to see. Okay, I've just done a little bit of poking here with a firing piece attached, telling it I want a 400mm. And it turns out that it's like I thought. A 400mm is such a big one for an advanced cannon that I can't actually give it multiple barrels as a method of increasing its rate of fire and cooldown. I was expecting that, because it requires a total of 6 gauge increases to actually get it up to this caliber, and advanced firing cannons, you can only add 8 gauge increases. So it's going to be like I thought it was, and it's going to be a multi-barrel cannon. So yeah, I need to decide how many barrels I'm going to put onto it, and I need to decide where they're going to be. Like, is this good? Yeah, that looks pretty good actually. Sure, let's do it like this. Back a little further? No, this is going to be... Actually, yeah, let's back it up a little bit. And then... Okay, what I'm going to do is, you know the cannon approach I went with for the side-mounted AA guns? As in, I doubled it back and then had the barrels recessed further behind it. That is exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm just working out how to do it, because I don't want it to be massively deep. So this is the level where those ones are. So that there is the level where I want the actual firing pieces to be at. So yeah, this is actually where I'm going to have the... Yeah, this will do. Then it goes forward like this, and I can get rid of these. So it's like that. And that is where the firing pieces are going to be. So yeah, a 4-barreled 400mm cannon. And it's going to sit like that underneath the crafts. That's looking pretty good. Now I just need to actually get this thing put together. Lots of turret engineering to go. Whoops, I was just in the middle of continuing to work on this massive thing and working out that I need a 32-meter long barrel to make the most use of its propellant, when I started to be snuck up upon by a wonder, of all things. And wow, I am tipping upwards now. Okay. Yeah, that cannon assembly is actually causing a bit of drag, so I can kill off these 2 sub-engines down below. Let's very quickly do that. Oh, no, don't need to. Not really. But a wonder. Not sure entirely what that is, but still. Let's have a look. Wonder, it is... Oh, it's one of those things. One of those airships which has caused me a few problems a few times, but still. My cannon's actually engaged it, so it's done okay. And its shells have missed, so yeah, that wonder is now dead. Hooray! More victims for me. Though sadly, that is also another problem with a big cannon. You need a really big barrel to get the most out of the shells. So just keep on hitting that, thank you. It's dead, so nothing else to shoot at. Nothing to see here, show's over. Let's actually very quickly dig into the shell properties while I'm here. Accuracy is an important stat as well. Oh, I was looking at the wrong one. Never mind. This thing requires a 17-meter barrel. So let's go ahead and actually swap this out here, and add in another HE warhead at the back. 16-meter barrel. That's actually much better. 319 though. That's sacrificing 100 meters a second on its shell to decrease that. I'm not happy with that particular trade-off, so I'm going to go back to the original layout, which was bleed baser and 4 gunpowder. 426? needs a 17.1 meter barrel. I'll ignore the 0.1 meter, so, you know, don't especially need that, to be honest. But yeah, let's get back to showing you what I'm working on. So I can cycle through everything to find it. This is the problem with so many turrets, but yeah, here we go. This is what I've done. I've replaced the original core I was laying with a whole load of sheet metal, so that this thing is now properly anchored in place. I've got the 4 barrels up here, which is going to be just fine. Yeah, this is a 400 meter cannon and all that. Now I just need to add the barrels on. 17 meter barrel. That means I need 15 of these. Nope, 15 of those. That's going to be like that, and then it's going to be a muzzle brake at the end, of course, because this thing's got such huge recoil. And repeat it for this, so. that thing looks like kind of... Well, I wanted a heavy weapon system. I'm getting a heavy weapon system. Indeed. And I've also packed it together like this just so that it can actually go down through a central hole, and then I'll be arming around it like I did with the other side turrets. Though admittedly with this particular arrangement that means that 2 of the cannons are going to have actually more cooling than the actual... Sorry, 2 cannons are going to cool faster than the other 2 cannons, though only slightly. There's no way around that, but I don't especially mind in this case because they're going to be fast cooling cannons anyway, given how I'm going to be working to fill this entire space here with the ammo feed systems and storage and recoil compensation for the entire craft, trying to keep this craft stable when this monster fires. But this is definitely going to be a primary anti-ship cannon. Something I should mention also. Ooh, there's a gate over there. Let's... No, other way, because I'm upside down. Turn this way, yes. I've installed the 2 meter AA mantles on these guns. And while I did go with you guys saying you wanted the 3 meter general purpose ones on the side mounted guns, in this one I'm going to stick to what I've said. I'm going to stick with the 2 meter AA mantles, because if this thing points upwards, it's going to be pointing into my hull, and if one of these things goes off inside my hull, it's going to cause a tremendous amount of damage. So I want to avoid that at all costs. This cannon could quite easily blow off one of my other turret systems if it pointed in the wrong direction and detonated. So, hell, it could take off an entire wing of my ship. It could knock off that corner. It could blow the anti-aircraft cannons off. It could do so much damage. So, I'm taking no chances with this thing, and I am going to keep it with AA mantles, because I just do not want that thing to cause any significant damage to me. Though admittedly, if it gets hit by something and the ammunition stores blow up, then it will cause significant damage to me. There is no way around that. All stop. Let my altitude drop. But that is why I'm building it so that I can increase and layer the armour around here, just to bulge it out and keep it all safe. Because if this thing detonates, I wouldn't be surprised if the entire rear section of the craft goes up with it. That's one drawback of using such heavy cannons. It's going to react violently to things like explosives and lasers and anything else that touches off all the ammo and makes it just cook off like that. Come on, just drop in there. Got to admit though, that cannon is actually going to be a centerpiece. It's going to be a centerpiece for this craft. And I am actually a lot happier with that there than I am with the drone, which was just causing me so much irritation before I took it off last video. Yeah, there we go. Okay, rise. While a drone carrier does sound interesting, it's not for this craft. Not really. Difficulty 6.41. Storms are still all around me and I can't see anything. I'll get back to you in a few moments when I've just had a little bit more tinkering time with the cannon, just to help get the things, internal systems worked out. After a bit of agonising and thinking about it, I've decided that I'm not going to go quite for a fully metal cap like I was originally intending to, because quite frankly these cannons have got a large amount of recoil to try and deal with. So what I've done instead is I have actually hooked up these additional splitters and cooling units out here to take advantage of some gaps within this circular pattern I've built up for the base of this particular cannon, and I'm actually going to use that to give each cannon a pair of additional hydraulic rams, just like that. So this reduces the durability of the cap a little bit, but it also will improve the overall performance of the cannon and as a result of the ship itself. So that's why I'm doing it like this. Though admittedly, if you've got a cannon cap like this, you don't want to have all your systems on top of it exposed and just open to the elements or incoming hostile fire, because sooner or later something's going to hit it and it's going to go bang. So you know, you've got to try and avoid this kind of thing. But at least I've improved my cannon's performance a little bit, and that's going to help out a lot in the long run anyway. Where is it? There it is. Right, yep. It's still going to have a cap of metal, but it's going to be a bit bulbous, a bit bulky to try and encompass these extra things. And when the central cannons move up, there won't actually be any armour between these cooling units, these cooling vents, and any shell that might come in directly from the front. So that's a slight weak point, but overall, this is the start of a very nasty cannon, I think. I need a downslope to go in front of here. Yep, that looks good. Though I think I will also be installing a shield system as well directly onto this cannon to give it some extra cover from whatever it's pointing towards, just to give it that bit of extra security. And that's probably going to be my first proper shield system as well, the first one I install. Yeah, you can see what I'm doing here. I'm rounding it all out just like I did with the previous set. So I can't do this with the back because I need to work this entire thing up, and I need it to counterbalance the weight of the barrels, which is rather significant. Let's have a look and see where my actual centre point is. Yeah, my centre point of mass is actually a bit forward, so it would tip the craft if I wasn't paying attention to it with something this big. So though, it looks like it's going to shape up to be a fairly decent cannon, I think. But that is also all I've got time for in this particular video, so I've just stopped my timer. I was hoping to get this thing a bit more finished up, but out of time, you know, fights got in the way, yada yada yada. And I really am watching the clock, so that's why I think I'm hitting 30 minutes a lot more accurately with these pre-recorded ones. Trying to hit that physical limit of how many I can prepare before I have to say, that's enough, I've got to go now. So yeah, this has been Iron Mark V. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I'll catch you some other time. See you later.